Welcome everybody to Sin City Living. My name is Jason and I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content for you guys coming out every single week, every single day generally. Occasionally miss a day like I did during the rodeo that is still ongoing right now. And I hope all of our patrons out there are appreciating the patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out with the dice class, putting one out every couple of weeks. And if you're curious about that, go ahead and check the description down below. Once I get this whole live stream thing figured out, I'm probably going to do a live stream on the patron site as well. One on the regular site, one on the patron site. I do have the new computer for it. Theoretically, I have everything ready. I'm just so busy currently with this rodeo. And one of our fans asked a question a little while back about ways to tip us, to show appreciation to us without having to sign up as one of our patrons. And at the time we did not have any way of doing it, but I have managed now to get us signed up with a site called Buy Me a Coffee. As I'm sure some of you guys have noticed from some of our videos, Louie and I are both pretty heavy coffee drinkers. So if you're curious about that as well, go ahead and check down below in the description as well. We would definitely appreciate any cups of coffee you're willing to pick up for us. And don't forget to email us with any strategies, questions, suggestions, anything at all. We love shooting those videos for you guys. I actually haven't gotten a new email in about 2 weeks. And also, don't forget, anybody that may be interested in one of the small Sin City Living neons that we have, just email us that as well, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm going to go and get into today's episode. So for today's strategy, that's another one that's going to require a medium-sized bankroll. You're going to need a decent amount of money to do this one. And like a lot of the strategies, it is a regression strategy. And I want to talk real briefly about the regression strategies. The thing about regression strategies is that this person's idea is that generally they want to get to slightly above the 50% or slightly below the 50% probability. When you have a 1 in 6 chance of a 7 rolling, they try and get to the 4th roll. They want to get to the 4th roll so that they can see more rolls after that and bring their bets down. The problem with that is that, again, you have a 1 in 6 chance, the first roll, the second roll, and the third roll of rolling a 7 out and losing your entire initial bet. Plus, if you happen to catch that 15, 30, 45, and 60 roll hands, you are way behind everybody else. So people that are winning 15 to 20,000 while you're winning 1,500 to 2,000. So it all depends on your style of play. Generally, to me, if you've got a larger bankroll, I think it's probably better to start out with a smaller bet and go for a power press method, but I also like to really go for it. If you're a more conservative player, start out with a smaller bankroll, start out with a smaller bet and do a mid-press method. But if you like the regression strategies, if you really bought into the idea that these work, by all means, go for it. All strategies can win, just like all strategies can lose. So the way this one works, you're going to have a $25 4 and 10. Now, it does not matter what the point is. We're going to set the point as 9. We're going to have a $25 4 and 10, which means they are buys. Both of these are buys. That means they pay like odds. They pay double the bet minus a 5% vig, a 5% commission. On the 5 and 9, we're going to go 35 apiece. 6 and 8, we're going to go 42. And this is your initial buy-in. So right here, we're looking at 84 plus 70, so we're at 154 plus 50. So we're at 204. You're at $204 buy-in. $204 for your place bets going across. 204 across. Obviously, you can't just throw in $204 and say, give me 204 across. The dealer is going to look at you like you've lost your ever-loving mind. So make sure that you are clear with your bets. I don't recommend stringing your bets. Don't throw, here's 25 for the 10, here's 25 for the 4, here's 35 for the 9. You know, put your bets down, put your money down, and then tell them what you are looking for. Don't string them along. Let them just bend over the table once to collect your money instead of your bets. So how does this work? We already know that this is a regression strategy. We already know that these bets are going to come down at some point, likely the 4th hit, which is where most regression strategies like to pull down. So how's it going to work in the initial roll? Well, what you'll notice is that every single one of these bets pays $49. Each one of them. Does not matter what hits, it pays $49. 25 pays $49 once you take out the vig. 35 pays $49. 42 pays $49. Pretty basic. It's pretty consistent. The payout is $49 no matter what. So what are you going to do? Well, regardless of what hits, you are going to collect a buck. Doesn't matter what number hits. I'm not even going to pick a number. You're going to get paid $49. Does not matter what hits. So you're going to collect $1. What are you doing with the other 48, you might ask? Well, that's pretty easy. The other 48, you are pressing the 6 and 8, $24 each. You are now at a $66 6 and 8. What does this pay? $77, if you're wondering. Now, once again, it does not matter what happens. Your next press is going to be on the 5 and 9. If you happen to roll one of the outside numbers, you're going to use this dollar of profit that you have. It's your next bet, your next hit, you press the 5 and 9 to $60 each. If it were one of the outside numbers that pays $49, you would have to throw in the dollar profit that you have from your first hit. So either way, no matter what happens, you are still only out your initial $204 buy-in. If it happened to be a 6 and 8 that hit, those pay $66 each. So you would actually, they pay $77 each. It's a $66 bet. You would actually collect $27 instead of having to throw in your dollar profit. So you would be up $28. But it does not matter what hits. Your second hit, you press up the 5 and 9 to $60 a piece. So your third hit, what are you going to do? It depends. It depends what rolls, but only in the aspect of how far do you push your press. You're going to press, no matter what, you're going to press. And one thing you are absolutely going to press is you're going to press your 5 and 9 up to 54. Or I'm sorry, not up to 54. You're going to press your 5 and 9 up to 75. I'm thinking 54 because I'm thinking what would happen if it 10 rolls. If you have the money, you're going to press these up to 75, and you're going to press these up another $24. You're going to press these up to 90. If you can, you go 75, 75, 90, 90. The only way you can pull that off if it's one of these numbers inside. Because if this one rolls, you're going to get paid $77, right? You're going to press to 75. To 75. Now you don't have enough to go 90 and 90, so you just call it a day, move on. If the 5 or 9 rolls, you're going to get paid 84. So once again, now we just so happen as to have enough to collect $6 and bring these bets up to $90 a piece. If the 4 and 10 were to roll, we would just push the 5 and 9 up, and we would leave these set at $66 each. Okay? So that's where it depends what rolls time period hits. If it's a 4, 6, 8, or 10, if it's an even number that rolls, you're only going to press your 5 and 9 up to 75. If it's a 5 or 9 that rolls, you're going to press your 5, 6, 8, and 9. You're going to press all your inside numbers. But for the fourth roll, it does not matter what you're at here. If you were only at $66 here, you're going to collect and regress. If you're at 90, you're going to collect and regress. It does not matter. Come the fourth roll, you collect and regress, period, regardless of what happens. Okay, so let's pretend that these are still just 66, okay? Why? Because it's going to make it a little bit easier to show what you're going to do next. So, let's say something small. Let's just say the 10 rolls. Okay, so the 10 rolls, you're going to get paid $49. You paid $49. Now what do? You regress. What do you regress to? So this is the absolute lowest case scenario of where your bets could be and what rolls to get the lowest payout before your regression hits. This is the absolute worst that can happen. So you're going to regress down to 66 inside. Now what do you have? Now remember, you started out with 204 across, right? What are you sitting on? You're sitting on $315. You started with 204 across, so you're up $211, and you have your 66 inside that you can now play with. At this point, you're going to do whatever you choose to do. Now, remember, this is the worst case scenario on what could have happened as far as your money goes. You were only able to press the 6 and 8 up to 66, and a 4 or 10 rolled for your fourth hit. It's theoretically possible that you would manage to press up your 6 and 8 up to 90, and that one of the inside numbers rolled that paid 105 before you regress down, in which case you're going to have more money after your regression. But worst case scenario, you're sitting through 15. So you're sitting up $111 plus the 66. Technically, you're up $77 or $177. But now you've got your 66 inside that you can do whatever you choose to do. Whatever your method may be. If you were a mid-press player, if you were a power press player, if you're just a same bet player, that's perfectly fine. It's up to you what you were comfortable with doing, what you want to do, and what you enjoy doing. Remember, have fun with this game. This is a fun game. This is one of the most social games there is. I've, of course, been in a lot of conversations with people at a blackjack table or a pie gow table, but in general, if I'm sitting at a card table, I generally sit fairly quietly. About the only person I talk to is my wife and occasionally the dealer, but mostly I talk to the dealer with hand signs. Whereas in dice, you generally end up talking to everybody on the table because everybody's cheering, everybody's yelling, everyone's rooting for whatever, and especially if you have strategies. When you have strategies, people are curious about your strategies. So once you regress down to 66 inside, do whatever you choose. If you're a mid-press player, if you're one of those players that's going to expand it out to the 4 and 10 and then play a field, a C&E, or a horn bet, whatever you want to do. This is the core of the strategy. Like every other regression strategy, it's 4 hits, not every other, but most of the regression strategies, it's 4 hits and then regress it down. And I already know I'm not a huge fan of these strategies, but they're not horrible strategies in any way, shape, or form. They're not fantastic strategies either. They're not the greatest strategies on the planet, but they're decent. They're decent. They're fun. You can have some fun with this. So if this is your preferred style of play, then maybe this has helped you to modify your personal strategy, or maybe this gives you some food for thought for creating your personal strategy. But whatever it may be, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We will catch you guys next time. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and thanks for watching. So, as I promised, I wanted to go over very briefly our upcoming attempts at a third test live stream. So what's happened so far? The first test live stream just flat didn't work. The problem that I had was was an equipment problem. I had an equipment problem in that the equipment that I was using to translate the camera into streamable video to the computer required a better USB port than the computer I was using at the time. So that one just flat failed because it would not translate into the computer. The computer would not pick it up, would not read it, so I wasn't able to live stream it. So then, as I was looking through, because I'm a little bit of a tech head, as I was looking through all of my other stuff, because I do have 4 laptops here and 3 computers, I did find one that actually did have the newer style USB port. Unfortunately, it was actually my oldest laptop, but I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And this time around, when I fired everything up, the video was actually translating onto the computer, so things were looking better. But then when I attempted to live stream, the computer was not powerful enough to be able to translate it and then upload it sufficiently. So it basically just uploaded a blank screen for the live stream. So what I am going to have to do is, and I'm already looking into all of my options, I'm going to upgrade my computer so I can add, what, a 7th, 8th computer to my household. And I'm going to go much, much higher, and I'm going to get a computer that is far more than I need for this, far, far, far more powerful than I need for this. That way, any future upgrades that I may do, the computer will be able to handle it. So unfortunately, this computer is going to cost me about 25% more, about 25% of what I've already laid out in all the equipment for this channel. So it wasn't something I could just instantly buy. I'm probably looking at Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So hopefully I have it within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do another test live stream and see if I can go from there. So I will definitely do at least one weekly live stream on our Patreon because they're the ones that are really helping us get this computer and the other equipment that I'm going to get, because I figure if I'm buying the computer, I might as well buy the most high-end capture cards and things along those lines, get everything as good as possible, and then hopefully eventually get a better microphone for you guys. So yeah, that's where we stand on the live stream. As soon as I have the computer and I do the test, which will be in a few weeks, like I said, I've got to order it in a week or two, then I have to wait for it to ship. Plus we have probably the biggest event of the year coming up, the NFR National Finals Rodeo. So I'm basically working 2 weeks straight, as is my wife. So not going to have a whole lot of time. But once we get all that under control, then we'll figure out. There's been some schedule changes to myself, some schedule changes to my wife, and some upcoming schedule changes to my wife as well. So hopefully we can get all the scheduling figured out so I know when I'll be able to live stream as well. My initial plan of Thursdays at 6 o'clock is already out the window. I'm at work at that point now. So we will get it all figured out, and we will let you guys know, I promise. And otherwise, I hope you guys have found this interesting, enlightening, illuminating, or at least just plain fun. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.